Hello and thank you for watching this video. My name is Hannah and I work at Maria's Animal Shelter. There are so many misconceptions around small animals and we want to change that. There are so many problems that we see which could easily be prevented if people had done the right research or had had the right advice in the first place. It really is worth the investment of time, effort and money to get your animal set up correct in the first place, because otherwise you're much more likely to see physical and behavioural problems which ultimately cause you stress, damage your relationship with that animal, and then they're much more likely to end up in a rescue centre like ours. So for your guinea pig indoor setup, you're looking for a minimum of about 5 foot by 2 foot for a pair of pigs. If you have a trio, you're looking at least 6 foot, if not bigger. We can't stress enough how important space is to these guys. They will use it if you give them enough space. They're really active and really curious little creatures, so they need space to explore, to run, to hide, to jump, to popcorn, and to be a normal guinea pig. Your floor space, so that minimum size, should be one consistent space. It should be all on one level. It's not good enough to have a really tiny space connected to another really tiny space. It doesn't give them the opportunity to run and to move about like they normally would. So one continuous space is really, really important. So whether your guinea pig enclosure is inside or outside, it should be lit naturally by a window. It is simply not good enough to have your enclosure in a dark space like a garage or a windowless shed or a basement. Basically, these guys, their body is working in a daily rhythm all the time, and that daily rhythm controls things like their eating, their sleeping, their hormones and their health. If they don't have any concept of natural light, then it throws those rhythms off and you get all sorts of health and behaviour problems. So it's simply not good enough to just have them in a dark space and turn an artificial light on and off. That isn't the same thing at all. So in order to keep these guys happy and healthy, they need to have some sort of natural light to their enclosure. The most important thing from your guinea pig's perspective is having enough hiding places. These guys in the wild would be preyed upon from above, so having a roof over their head makes them feel much, much safer. You should have a hiding place per guinea pig as a very minimum, because they don't always want to squeeze in the same spot together. They need separate places if they want to be separate for a bit. The benefit to indoor cages is they're nice and easy, but they can be quite exposed with no roof above their head. So when we have indoor cages, we quite like to create a roof with either some extra panels or a blanket just draped over them, basically just something to cover their heads. We like to fill this dark, safe hiding space with lots of bedding hay because, as you can see, they quite like burying and covering themselves over with all the hay. So again, that just makes them feel safe, it brings their stress levels down, and then you're going to see less health problems. If you have an indoor guinea pig, it is so important that those guys are not put out on the grass during the winter time. So many people move guinea pigs from a cold area to a hot area or vice versa. It doesn't matter where they live, but the important thing is to remember the temperature difference. So guinea pigs can't cope with a temperature difference of more than around 10 degrees Celsius. So if you have an indoor guinea pig and it is cold and it is winter time or it's chilling off, then keep that guinea pig inside. Don't stick them out even if the sun's out, because it's simply not warm enough. They will chill off really quickly and it is incredibly difficult for them to warm themselves back up again. Likewise, if you have an outdoor guinea pig, you shouldn't bring it in the winter unless you're going to keep it inside. Don't bring it in for a short session, 20 minutes, half an hour. They will get too hot and then going out again they will be too cold. So as long as wherever you have them is consistent, then you're fine, but chopping and changing is not okay. So if you do have an outside guinea pig and you're going to bring them inside for the winter, that's fine as long as they stay inside. People often look at guinea pigs and say, oh well, they're not doing a lot and therefore I don't need to give them that much space. Well, our question would be, what can they actually do in the space that you have given them? We like choices, variety and things to do, and animals are exactly the same. They need to be able to have choices and control over what they do and how they do it. For example, they might want to sleep in a separate area from their companion, or spend 5 minutes running around, or choose to be hidden, or choose to be visible. If these sort of choices are not available to them, their stress levels will be higher and you're much more likely to have problems as a result. These guys cannot leave their enclosure and they have absolutely no control over how we care for them. So we must make sure that we're paying attention to their behaviour and offering them space, choice and things to do. Because by doing this, we're enabling them to display their normal behaviour, and this is something that we have to do by law in order to be a responsible pet owner. Please remember that although guinea pigs are small, they are complicated and they are still a big commitment. They are an adult's responsibility, they are not a children's pet. So if you as the adult are reluctant or unsure, then don't get them. We really hope that you've enjoyed this video and that you've learnt something new. If you would like to get in touch, you can find us on our website or our social media. Thank you.